Welcome to episode 33 of Football Manager 2015 with Aston Villa. It's the 24th of August 2019 and it's a new season where we will have to try and book ourselves up after a really poor season last year. Of course, 2 seasons ago, a real purple patch. We finished in 5th place. Got Europa League football last year. But last year was just a disaster. We finished 12th in the end. Got knocked out in the group stages of the Europa League. Got knocked out in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Did make it to the semi-final of the Capital One Cup, but that wasn't really enough. So it was really a season to quickly forget. And hopefully the transfers this summer really make a difference, because the previous summer the transfers just didn't make any bit of a difference. We've got to try and hope that they make a difference this time around. There's a bit of activity going on because we brought in 23 million's worth, but we let 35 million go. So we actually had a 12 million profit on things. We'll go through the outs as per usual first, and there was only really two major signings that left. Moy Gomez left for 9.75 million to Watford. He's a good player, Moy Gomez, but last year he kind of failed to really break into the team at any stage. Only 9 appearances in the league, and he was kind of complaining, which was fairly understandable. And I offered him out. He was worth around 6 million at the time. We offered him out for 10 million. Watford came up with I think 8, but we managed to haggle them to 9.75. And he's gone to there for that. They're in the Premier League this year, newly promoted. This is probably their big signing for the year. And good luck to him, because I didn't really want to let him go, but he just didn't have a place in our team anymore. As per usual, the usual stack of regens left on free transfers. Actually, nobody kind of noteworthy left on a free this year. Aidan Downing and Charlie Krall left on loans to Hartlepool and Fleetwood respectively. And the only other big transfer out was Gaston Gil Romero for 25 million to Sampdoria. Again, kind of same story. He was given out. The team kind of... I brought him in. When I brought him in last year, he was kind of hoping that probably we were going to get Europa League football again, and we didn't. And we were really quite poor last year, so he kind of wanted to move on. Again, offered him out, I think, for 30 million. Sampdoria came in with 20, but we managed to get it to 25. Like that's superb profit. Like ideally, again, you wouldn't want to let him go, but we brought him in for 4.9 million last year, and he wasn't good enough to kind of go. Actually, we're going to reject every bid here. We just don't want it. Like when that sort of money comes knocking, I wasn't going to reject it for somebody like him, because he just wasn't. He isn't that good to do something like that. So I think 25 million was really well worth it, and we get, in the end, we get 20 million's profit on it. So that's always good for the club's finances. That did give us the room for spending, and we brought in a few youngsters. One of these being Alden Mekic for 2.2 million from Munich Lions, or Munchen Lions. Is that 1860 Munich, or is that another Munich team? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's 1860 Munich. Anyway, he looks a really solid centre half. Can also play defensive mid and centre mid. Got good determination on him. Got some good core technical and physical stats to start him off with as well. And he could turn into a star. Only 2.2 million as well, which isn't too bad. I'm going to leave these two because they're probably two of the biggest. We brought in, oh Jesus, Cow. I'm going to go for Cow. Kaue with that accent thing on it. Cole. Okay, we'll go with Cole, unless you tell me otherwise. 2.9 million, I think. Yeah, from Santos over in Brazil. He's a really explosive left winger. I think we've got ourselves an absolute bargain here. He's fantastic technically. Decent fit in, like he's got decent speed. Otherwise, his physical attributes aren't great. Like he's just one of those nippy little wingers that you get from Brazil. Mentally, he's not great, but he's got good determination on him, and he's a highly ambitious player. Very ambitious, as it says here. They are saying he's a wonder kid, so let's hope That's the case. Lucas Mendez, another down as a wonder kid. 2.9 million once again, the outlay. Argentinian international, looks an absolute beast. Looks like a little Bonazzoli in himself, to be honest. Comes from Gimnasia. Yeah, looks an absolute superb player. I didn't actually check. Yeah, wonder kid, he's a determined player as well. Labelled the next Mario Kempes. Don't know who that is actually, but maybe that's an absolute shit piece of football knowledge if I don't know who he is. But he looks a really, really classy player. So that's all good. And then the three kind of main first team signings. I suppose these two might feature at some stage, but unlikely. Two of them come from Chelsea, and one of them was Yuri Tillmans. A wonder kid at the start of the game on Football Manager 2015. One of the best you can get, and to pick him up for 4 million is an absolute steal. He went to Chelsea on a free a few years back, and we loaned him in, if you remember. What was that now? 3 years ago. But he never really got a game because he wasn't ready at that stage. He was only 18 or something, maybe 19. But he just hasn't gotten the games at Chelsea, and they didn't want him anymore. And they offered him out for 4 million. You can't pass up that 4 million. Only 27 grand on the wages as well. For a guy of his ability, you just can't pass up those sort of opportunities. Next man in, Andrew Robertson for 4.3 million. He found his way to Arsenal and then Chelsea on this save. Arsenal bought him for 12.25 from Hull, and then Chelsea bought him for 11.25 from Arsenal. And we bought him for 4.3 million. So he's come to us. He's a left back. He's a good player in real life. I think he's a really good player. Funny story actually, because I saw him when he lined out for Queen's Park. In that season in 2012, I saw him play, which is, I was over in Glasgow. I went to Queen's Park game and he was playing, and look, in real life he looks an absolute, he looks a very good left back. High hopes for him, I think they have at Scotland and at Hull. But anyway, he looks a really solid player. Very similar to Santon, but a bit better. And I think it means Santon, I think, will push over to right back. And it means Gino Peruzzi won't have to play, which I think is good in the end. And the last guy, the most expensive transfer for 6.75 million is Hichem Saibi. French international. Got one cap already. Look at that. He looks an absolute stunning player. He's kind of our... he's coming in to take over from Gil Romero. Like he plays in the positions that Gil Romero plays. He can also play on the wing as well. I'm looking to play him either here or there, in centre mid or attacking centre mid, rather than on the right, because on the right I don't think he's going to be as influential. He came from ES Tunis. Is that Tunisia? I'd say so. Yeah. So he came from Tunisia, but obviously has had a French background as well. Went to Napoli quite early on. Napoli used him quite a lot last year. He played quite well in the Serie A for them, and we've snapped him up. So 6.75 million, again, a decent enough buy, I think. So I think that's been a more of a productive transfer window this time out. Still got a bit of money just in case something crops up near the end of the year, or near the end of the transfer window. If we quickly browse through pre-season, we drew 3-3 with Jolos Tujana, beat Krasnodar 3-2, beat Randers FC 1-0, beat Standard 5-2, beat Millwall 4-0, and beat Bristol Rovers 4-1. So once again, a pretty solid pre-season. And we're playing Nottingham Forest today. They're a bit of a bogey team for me on this year's game. Like, if we look at this save, I'd say they have the edge on past meetings. Yeah, 8 games, they've had 12 points, we've had 9 points. The real thorn in the side has been Brit Assombalonga. He's quite good on this year's game. He's scored a fair few goals against me. Still at Forest, 9.5 million worth of player now. He's been a very solid campaigner, even in the Premier League. But anyway, we might as well get into today's game. Hopefully we can start off with a win to start off this season quite well. The team gone forward today is Horn and nets, back four Robertson, Balanta, Dede and Santon. Bravo and Cleverly in the middle, Grealish, Saibi and Pereira, with Bonazzoli starting up top. Of course, Bonazzoli starting after his fantastic end to last year, which was really something else. And hopefully he can drag that into this season so we can have his kind of first full season bang goals in. Like he scored 18 in the end last year, but around 15 of those were after Christmas. So you're kind of thinking, well, like if you can do that before Christmas, well then we might be looking at a 25, 30 goals a season man in all competitions. As you can see here, the game isn't loading at the moment, which is disappointing to say the least. I'm kind of ready to go, you know. I'm in the new season mode, I think, especially with the transfer we've made. I think it should be an exciting season. I think we should be a better team. I haven't made any... there's no differences to the centre-backs. And you might be thinking, oh, well, the centre-backs weren't great last year. But like the centre-backs on paper are three of the best centre-backs in the league. Well, it should be. Like Balanta, Dede and Okore. You know, you can't ask for three of Football Manager's better centre-backs, you know. They just kind of... Yeah, they're three of the best going around the last few years on Football Manager. So, hopefully they can step up this year. I'm just hoping that last year was just a blip. Anyway, get into today's game. It's Pearson early on for them. Thompson, Sombalong, Pearson. Oh, good save already from Timo Horn. Already on the back foot here though, only a minute in, which is disappointing. Patterson now finds Flanagan, Lansbury, Patterson, Asombalonga. Dede does well. And we get the ball out of there. Saidi or Saibi. Don't know how you pronounce that. Now he's picked up a yellow card for diving already, which isn't a good start to his Villa career. But here's Pereira. He's hit the post. Bonazzoli on the rebound, and he's managed to get his first goal of the season already in the bag. A true goal scorer's goal. That, you know, kind of pouncing on a rebound. You see that in real life. You know, those goal scorers like Van Persie and all that. Good saves from Timo Horn there. But you know, he always people like that. They always seem to be right there at the right time. Same with like the ultimate men, Ronaldo and Messi. You know, they're just always there when goals are coming. As Roberto Pereira makes it 2-0 after 29 minutes, his first of the season. Hopefully, he can have a bit of a better year this year. He wasn't. He just kind of slipped under the radar a little bit last year. After 2 seasons ago, he was absolutely superb. You couldn't ask for a better player. Last year, he was slightly struggling, I felt. But nonetheless, hopefully this year he can kind of put right some wrongs. Yeah. And have another stunning season. Playing out on the right, he's probably going to be playing there the majority of the time. Him and Saibi will be rotating a little bit though between their positions, because both of them can play behind the striker and both of them can play out on the right. So gonna have to see how that goes. We might end up swapping them around, because I do think Pereira is slightly better when he's on the right, behind the striker. I felt last year on the right he became a little bit anonymous, as I was saying, during certain games. You get that though with wingers. As Sambalonga, he continues his fantastic run of form against Villa. As it's 2-1 now, just before half-time. Not really the time to concede a goal there, which is disappointing. Because if we'd gone in 2-0 up, you're really looking at a very, very good half-time team talk. Instead, a little bit more worried because it's 2-1. We're looking here to try and re-establish our 2-goal lead in this game and try and get the season off to a good start for once. Like, you look through all the seasons we've been in charge, and I don't think we've had one good start to the season yet. Like, one really good start. Saibi has scored on his debut. That is fantastic to see. Bonazzoli with a nice little reverse pass for the assist. And he gets it here. He kind of holds it up, waits for Saibi's run, and then a little reverse pass, and he's able to tuck that away at ease. And it's 3-1 already. And it does re-establish our 2-goal lead, which is exactly what I wanted to see. And we're approaching 70 minutes now, and the game is kind of petering out, but if they score a goal now, it certainly won't. And it's a fantastic save from Timo Horn, who's really played quite well today, which is good. Again, another underperformer last year I felt was Timo Horn. You know, he's a class keeper, but he just didn't play very well last year. And same with the centre backs. Like that whole back five, I suppose, if you include the keeper, just underperformed last year. They're all good players. Like even Peruzzi and Santon, you know, they're good players. They just didn't have a good time of it last year. Saibi scored his second on debut. What a start for him. Bonazzoli with another assist. He went down the left, crosses it in. Saibi's on hand. That's 4-1 already, but they're going to get one back. Oh no, they've missed a pretty easy chance. Mow it though. Been a fairly action-packed first game of the season, if you ask me. Patterson though, Flanagan. It's just Ben Pearson's going to be sent off. He got sent off last time we played them as well, so he's not having a great knack of doing well against us. Who's Grealish now? Saibi, Robertson. No, Robertson, that was the wrong ball, or wrong way to go. Oof, Balanta. Cleverly now, Saibi, Bonazzoli, Grealish on the rebound. It's 5-1. Jack Grealish continuing on his good form he's had for the last few seasons. It's good to see. Excellent player, Jack Grealish, on this game now, as they've got a goal back. Sean Morrison with a flick-on header there from the free kick. A little bit of a soft goal to concede, if you ask me, but you can't really be complaining on this performance unless we concede another one. Then it gets a little bit sloppy, and so Sambalonga will look to do so. And it's another good save from Timo Horn, who's really played quite well today, because they've had their fair amount of opportunities. They just haven't really taken them. And we've managed to come out of the game though with a 5-2 win, which is an excellent win for the first game of the season. You can't ask for much more than that, can you? Bonazzoli with the man of the match, 1 goal, 3 assists for him. And we sit ourselves in third place only because both Chelsea and Manchester City have won by 5 goals. City winning 6-1 there, as you can see, against Leicester. And Chelsea obviously 5-0 or 6-1 themselves. Anyway, the next episode is going to be at the start of October. I've already looked into it, and it's going to be Liverpool again, would you believe? Which is disappointing, because there's just always Liverpool. You know, I've come Liverpool games a lot, but that's when it falls again this year. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. I'll see you guys later.